Hi, third hour. How are you guys doing this week? We are covering chapter 25 this week called The Global Crisis, 1921 to 1941. Questions will be due next Tuesday. That's May 5th. You also don't have school Friday and Monday. That gives teachers a chance to plan a little bit more for distance learning because we're now on that for the rest of the year. This chapter goes over the events leading up to World War II. Starts in the 1920s after World War I. U.S. doesn't join the League of Nations. U.S. signs a bunch of pacts with Britain, with France. There's a 5-power pact, 4-power pact, 9-power pact, KelloggBritish Pact. That's all talked about in the beginning of the chapter. KelloggBritish Pact is interesting. That outlaws the use of war as national policy. A lot of countries signed the KelloggBritish Pact, including Japan. Japan in 1932 invades China, violating the KelloggBritish Pact. The Japanese military takes over the government, or militarists take over the government. And then, as you know, Japan bombs Pearl Harbor in 1941, and that gets the United States into World War II. Also goes through American actions with the Soviet Union and in Latin America. On page 693 of the text, it talks about the Neutrality Act. The Neutrality Act makes it to where the United States doesn't sell weapons to any nation involved in war. FDR said that actually encouraged aggression because nations in Europe knew the United States wasn't going to respond to any type of aggression. So Germany, I'm thinking about. Adolf Hitler comes to power. He knows that the United States is isolationist, and that doesn't change until the late 30s. By the late 30s, the Neutrality Acts are amended. The first one that's amended is called Cashy Carry, where nations can buy weapons from the United States if they pay for those weapons in cash and then carry them off on their own ships or vessels. Moving into 1940, we begin to make deals with Britain. There's one called Basis for Destroyers and also Lend-Lease, where we're just going to give the British the material that they need to fight the Axis powers, the Nazis. Towards the end of the chapter, we get into United States relations with Japan. Our discussion board question this week is whether war between Japan and the United States was inevitable or not, and why, so you want to respond to that by Friday. We're going to change the way that we do audio chats this week. Our audio chat on Thursday, I did not think was very well. There's a very limited amount of participation in that chat. So I want you guys to read Patterns of Popular Culture on page 696 to 697 about the radio broadcast special War of the Worlds, which was done by Orson Welles. I'm going to set up individual appointments with each of you to talk about this section on War of the Worlds. I linked to a YouTube version of the War of the Worlds broadcast in the chapter 25 channel for the week. If you listen towards the end of that broadcast, it's about the 54, 55 minute mark. It's only about 58 minutes. You can kind of hear what they were doing. And in reading about it, that's what I want to talk about with you individually, and also talk about, what you're doing to prepare for class, to prepare for chats. I'm also going to give you a new essay on the New Deal this week that will be due sometime probably next week. I'm still waiting on essays from a couple of you. I'm still waiting on some chapter questions. Please get those to me. I will want to check in with you and see how you're doing distance learning and what's working and what's not. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will talk to you this week. Take care.